Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will be discussing about the poem A Tiger in the Zoo, in which we will study in details about the theme, the stanza-wise summary of the poem, and the poetic devices used. For your convenience, I have added timestamps in the description so that if you wish to watch any particular segment, you just need to click on that particular timestamp to go through it. So, without any delay, let's get started. A Tiger in the Zoo is a famous poem written by Leslie Norris. George Leslie Norris, or better known as Leslie Norris, was a prize winning Welsh poet and a short story writer. He taught at academic institutions in Britain and the United States, including Brigham Young University. He is considered as one of the most important Welsh writers of the post war period, and his literary publications have won many prizes. His personal works deal with such themes as his Welsh home, his past, especially the pre war period, his experiences as a teacher, the nature, and the life of the instinct. He is also considered a fine technician. While discussing the theme of the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris tries to depict the mental condition of a caged tiger. The poet compares the life of a tiger in the zoo with its life in its natural habitat. The poet further conveys an important message that wild animals should be allowed to thrive in their natural habitat, that is, the forest. He heightens the contrast between freedom and captivity. He shows us how love for freedom is a natural instinct of every living being on this planet. Now, moving on with the stanza-wise summary of the poem. Stanza 1. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. The poet sees a tiger locked in a small cage in the zoo. The cage is so small that he can hardly take a few steps. He looks majestic as he moves up and down his cage. The sharp and clear stripes on his body add to his beauty. His padded feet are as soft as velvet. In spite of all his strength, he lies imprisoned behind bars. He is full of rage as he knows that he is helpless inside this locked cage. Moving on to stanza 2. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass. Near the water hole, where plump deer pass. Looking at the imprisoned tiger, the poet is filled with pity. He feels that the tiger should have been in the jungle in his natural habitat. Then, at this hour of the night, he would have definitely be lying in the shadows of trees and sliding quietly through the long grass. He would have waited near the water hole for some fat and healthy deer to pass the way so that he could have a wholesome feast. Stanza 3. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. In stanza 3, the poet imagines what the tiger would be doing in case he failed to find any prey in his natural habitat. He would then be angrily moving around the houses in a nearby village or growling at the edge of the jungle near the village. He would be showing his white fangs and terrible claws while moving here and there. He would thus become a cause of terror for the villagers. The poet here gives us a subtle hint that if we continue to destroy the forest cover and the natural habitat of wild animals, they will be definitely forced to turn to our towns and villages to look for food. Now, stanza 4. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars. stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Stanza 4. The poet tells that the tiger is locked in a concrete cell. In spite of all his strength, he lies imprisoned behind bars. He moves up and down the cage in an angry and threatening manner. He takes no note and ignores the people who come to see him in the zoo, as none of them think of releasing him from his prison. Moreover, due to their presence, he hardly gets any rest during the day. Coming to the concluding stanza of the poem, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Even at night, the tiger feels disturbed due to the noise coming from the patrolling cars around. He stares at the bright stars shining in the night sky, looking for some comfort and hope. His bright eyes still shine with the hope that one day he would be able to run free in the jungle and live in his natural habitat again. Let us now discuss the poetic devices used in the poem along with their examples. The first poetic device that we are going to discuss is repetition. The examples of repetition in this poem are velvet, quiet, quiet rage, where you will notice the word quiet being repeated twice, brilliant eyes, brilliant stars, where the word brilliant is repeated. Device number 2 is alliteration. Examples: he stalks in his vivid stripes, where the consonant S is repeated. But he is locked in a concrete cell, where C is repeated. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, C, B in the first, second, third and fifth stanza, and A, B, C, D in the fourth stanza. The fourth device is metaphor. Example: on pads of velvet quiet. The fifth device is imagery. Example: stalks in his cage. And the last one is oxymoron, which is the use of adjectives which are opposite in meaning. Example: quiet rage. With this, we come to the end of today's video. Children, some of you have requested for notes and questions and answers related to the chapters that I explain in my channel. You'll be glad to know that I have begun with my online English coaching classes, and anyone who wishes to get detailed notes of the chapters and poems is welcome to join. The details of my online classes are given in the description. Thanks for watching.